Friday, and the story is in Dallas. The standoff between Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons took an enormous turn yesterday. We start again on Michael Irvin's YouTube channel. Jerry saying the agreement he believes he made with Parsons would have made him the highest paid guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. And then he said this, which has everyone buzzing.
We wanted to send the details to the agent. The agents told us to stick it up our ass.
Again, now the agent, whose name is David Mulligetta, also represents our Ryan Clark. He told RC that he did not use that language, that he has never said that before, and so we will just take it. We will just assume that Jerry was not being literal. That he meant that the agent essentially told him, "Stick it. We have to start from scratch."
Right. Yeah.
And so we find ourselves. Look, here's the bottom line of it. I'm not defending Jerry Jones' position in this because I understand that the protocol in these negotiations and essentially all negotiations, we all have agents. Right. You have them even in your post-football career. Yep. The protocol is that the people who are going to pay you wind up talking to the person who represents you when it comes to the money. That is a line that almost never gets crossed. But, as Dan said, it isn't a rule, and it does seem to be something that Jerry Jones has done in the past. And if Micah Parsons willingly engaged in that kind of conversation, then I, at minimum, understand why Jerry Jones may feel like, well, look, I started here. I moved here, 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 and here. Now don't have the agent come in and tell me, well, but you didn't go far enough. I need you to go farther. I understand how he thinks that.
I get why he thinks it also. And maybe it's important for him to be able to look in the mirror to justify it, but who cares? Who cares? Right. You got a football player who wants to play football, who deserves a contract that we all could write.
Right.
Like, I understand his point. Maybe you don't need an agent for a contract when you have possibly the best rusher in football. You give him the highest contract. Being able to justify it, being able to win in your own court of public opinion means nothing if you care about winning week 1 against the Eagles. That's the part that's confusing me. He's going on this media tour, which may be to promote his documentary, but it's also a media tour to sell people, and no one's buying it, which is why I'm not sure where the pressure for Micah to play is going to come from, because I don't think his teammates are on Jerry's side. I don't think the fans are. The media's not. Everyone's looking at this and saying, Jerry, what are you doing? Micah's right.
Let me play the part that Nick is talking to, and then we'll all react, because there's much more here. This is where Jerry Jones says, if everyone knew what it is he offered, they would all be on his side. Listen.
The world would know that I want Micah if they knew what I had offered him, and he knows what I offered him. So the world would know that I want Micah to play on the team and that I respect him for what he can bring to the team. And now, as it turns out in this particular case, you say, well, what happens? Well, what happens is that we have a contract, and there's this year remaining under the contract. And then in the NFL, I get at our volition to extend that contract another year. We'll pay him like a franchise and another one after that. So we really got 3 years to work this thing out. And it's a basic contract that's there to go. I did that with Dak, and we couldn't agree. So Dak played his last year of his contract, and then we franchised him. And so it's exactly what happened with Dak. And we moved forward. And, of course, ultimately we got a contract, made Dak the highest paid player in the NFL.
I'm glad that, see, that's like that's like a veiled open threat, right? That's what owners do. Basically, I control you. You play football because I tell you to. And now that's when men dig in and their pride stick in, because owners think that, okay, well, I got you on the contract. Yeah. You can't do nothing. I'll just franchise tag you. Yeah, and I can show up and say my hamstring hurt, and ain't nothing you can do either. Right. And at some point, players are going to start using that hold. It used to be the hold out. Now it's the hold in.
I want people to understand this. You say players show up and say my hamstring hurt. I don't believe that is because that's a lie. Like, players play through so much stuff. Right. Like, I am playing in part because there are some unwritten rules that we understand that we're going to go by. Like, every player after week 1 could sit out, could reasonably take a break from playing. So I would understand if I don't have a long-term contract and something hurts a little bit, I don't have the security that allows me to put my body out there. So
100%.
It's not arguing that Micah could come in there and fake something. No. play one game.
Yep.
Something's going to hurt. And that's why he wants this contract. It makes sense.
And that's the two. They weaponize the threat of the franchise tag. And you can say whatever you want because context matters. So he's trying to win the poll of public opinion.
Yeah.
But offset language matters.
Yeah.
Injury skill matters. Skill deprivation matters. Guaranteed. How quickly am I going to get paid money? Opt-outs. You can't negotiate that with a player. And what if changed? TJ Watt changed. So I could agree to something before, but I'm better than TJ Watt. I'm in my prime. I'm 25 years old. These are all factors that change things. The only person that can push it maybe potentially higher than Micah Parsons, who should be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL, is Aiden Hutchinson. He's the only person that can push it. So it's his obligation to make sure that he gets the best contract for the next man up. That's the responsibility he owes to his brothers that's part of the fraternity. So Jerry can say whatever he wants, but context matters. The public opinion isn't that you just make Micah Parsons the highest paid. It's contract structure. And he's not going to win those opinions in the locker room because CeeDee Lamb had to deal with it. Dak had to deal with it. Everybody's probably fed up with the way that the old school owners do things, and Trey Henderson's experiencing the way that the old guys do it again. And Jerry's part of the old school, just like what's going on in the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, all that's true, but it's also true, like the franchise tag's a threat, but it's also true.
It is.
And to Jerry's point, he's done it before.
That's fine.
They did it with Dak Prescott, and it still worked out. Look, we're in a situation here where, honestly, like both sides are acting in a way that's not constructive to get something done. Now, you see Micah coming out at practice. One day he's in uniform, one day he's not. One day he doesn't have shoes on. It's like a silent protest kind of thing. Someone's got to say, all right, come on. Let's stop being foolish here because, that's the only way it's going to change. Right now, if Jerry and the agent won't engage, something's got to change that. Or else,
I don't think it's Jerry and the agent won't engage. Jerry won't engage with the agent, right?
Right.
So that's who has to change.
Yeah.
And I think we can be clear about even Jerry's, the way that he explains it, we can be clear that the holdup right now is Jerry Jones.
Well, Jerry,
right. But, to his point, he offered a contract. Right, and felt like he agreed on it. So it gets back to how Greeny started this, right? Like you can understand Jerry's point of view even if you don't agree with it.
he went about it in a way that we all think is wrong.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Right.
And it could have ended fine and didn't. Now, I have one more for you. After we talked to Michael Irvin, Jerry sat down face-to-face with Stephen A. Smith. The full interview will drop on YouTube later today. They'll, of course, be talking about it extensively on First Take. But here's a segment of that is just fascinating.
And the spirit of not doing the old mother-dad deal. How many times have you seen the little rascal so clever go in there and mama told him, you're not going to get it. And goes in to daddy who only sees him after 5 in the afternoon, wants to love him, and says, you can have it, son. You can have that before dinner. And he goes back in and says, Mama, Daddy said I could have it. That's the old mom, dad, been around since the beginning of time. I'm not going to go for that here. That's what's happening.
You're not going for it?
I'm not going for it. No. But we've had a very, very strong negotiation. Now, by the way, frankly, it wouldn't have made any difference what the negotiation was. Guess who has to be comfortable for this to work?
Micah.
And who else?
You.
Hello. There's not room for a third. There's not room for a third. This will be a good one.
I am a grown-ass man. Ain't no mama, daddy. You ain't my daddy, and this ain't no damn plantation. And what I know is I know my value of who I am and what I'm worth. And the market dictates who I am and what I'm worth. And what do you mean? I'm closer to my agent. I still work for my agent right now. He's the closest thing to family I ever had. You're temporarily my boss. You're my boss. It's no personal relationship with me and you. We ain't homies. We ain't boys. Because I knew if I got injured right now, you'll step over me and hire the next guy, right? What do you mean? I'm not some child. I know what the hell I'm talking about, and I pay my agent so I don't get screwed over like players used to, right? The same thing I had to watch Emmitt Smith go through after he put his body on the line, played with separated shoulders, gonna be sitting up there on pain pills the rest of his life, probably got arthritic limbs, getting post-surgeries in his 50s. So that's why my agent protects me from myself, because he knows how much I love the game, and you know how much I love the game. You could have got this over with last year by paying me early. If you would have just gave me $35 million, you would have saved that. I guarantee you the contract they're offering to Micah right now is more than what they could have got him for last year. So that's you not doing your due diligence as a businessman, recognizing my value early. We don't have to talk about Garrett Wilson and Sauce because they got paid early because they recognized we knew Micah Parsons was special day one. Man, don't come at me like this on plantation and, boy, go do your work. Because I got value. And listen, I'll come here and I'll sit and stand on principle. I'll come in here and play 1 or 2 games and sit down and I'll look my teammates in the eye and they'll understand exactly. Because if it's me today, it's you tomorrow.
Yep.
Micah Parsons, for those of you just joining us, has scrubbed any mention of the Dallas Cowboys from his social media. So that's sort of the modern day version of a response, right? Jerry said all of those things, and he's promoting a documentary. So he's everywhere. We showed it yesterday. He was on Fox and Friends. He's on Stephen A. Smith. He's on Michael Irvin's YouTube channel and any number of other places. And Micah has responded. And so I keep asking, I feel your passion and your anger, and I totally get it. I keep asking the question, where does this go? Because it has now gotten to about as bad a place. If Micah feels the way Bart obviously feels, then where the heck are we, and how do we get to a place where he ever plays there again?
You need some pressure from on one side or the other.
Yeah.
The problem is if you expect it to be on Jerry Jones, he's obviously very prideful, and it seems like there's not much pressure on him, but there's more pressure on him than Micah, because Micah, the pressure would come from the teammates. It seems that the teammates are demonstrating that they're on Micah's side. It could come from the fans or the media. We in the media and all the fans seem to be on Micah's side. The other pressure could be financial, and it's just like I'm missing opportunity on money that I should get that I may not get. That's the thing that might eventually push Micah. But if he's feeling everyone say, you're a champion, we love you, you deserve better, you're being mistreated, stand on principle, I don't know what's going to make him capitulate.
What if he really wants to play?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
like seriously, I think that's part of what the Cowboys are counting on, right? Like, all right, fine. Everything you said is 100% correct. But
You take your
at some
football
point,
from
you
him.
might say, I really just want to play football.
He got
so let's
7
do
more
it.
years to play
I
football.
get
He's
it.
a young man. This
I
ain't
get
like
it.
Trey Henderson, who's in his 30s,
But how
who
much
may
of that
have
are
a
you
couple years
willing to
left.
sacrifice is the question.
I have to pause on this thought again. It is a multi-layered conversation, as you can tell. We'll have much more on that as we go. We'll do the rest of the football stuff from this morning, too. Coming up, a Steeler legend is changing his prediction about his former team after watching Aaron Rodgers play. You'll hear what that is, and we'll tell you what it means as we continue on a